Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg and guest podcast.
First time ever.
We're back. We've been on this grind, and it might have something to do with these two hooligans that are out of college and have a lot of free time and are pushing the employed over here to do these podcasts. But if it's your first time, this is not how it normally looks like. We have a special guest on the podcast. His name's Jude. Jude, you want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
How's it going? Gabe. Gabe knows me. That's about it, actually. That's about it.
Gabe.
Just to quickly correct you, Ryan, Jude is still in college, and so
I always forget you're a year younger.
Well, he has like 4 more years, so like it's easy to confuse.
3.5, please. 3.5. Come on.
This guy's majoring and changing his major.
Exactly. Yeah, it did happen.
I've only changed it once. Thank you very much.
Jude, you can be one of those guys like just collects degrees like Infinity Stones and never does anything with them. Just stay in college for forever, get like 5 degrees, all of them worthless, and then go to McDonald's. Like, what are we thinking?
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be lucky if I finish one. So,
I respect the honesty.
Yeah, that is real. That is real.
it is a struggle.
Hey guys, this is Connor just popping in real quick to let you know that this was filmed Sunday morning, so we talk about it in the episode, but before Game 7 in the NBA Finals, so we will be reacting to that next week, and this was also filmed about an hour before the Kevin Durant news about him being traded to the Houston Rockets drop, so we will also react to that on next week's episode. Sorry for not being as, up to date on the current events as we want to be, but just letting you guys know that is not, those things are not in the episode, that coverage, but that will be there next week, and we will cover it next week. So hope you enjoy this episode. First guest ever, and a lot of football, so hope you enjoy. So Jude is primarily a football fan, so if you don't like football, this episode might not be for you. We will cover a few things first, but we're mostly going to get into the NFL and college football. First things first, though, gentlemen, Game 7 of the NBA Finals is tonight between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers. I believe all the co-hosts predicted that this would go 7, so this isn't really a shock to us.
After Game 1, we said that. I believe.
No, I said 7 from the start.
I said 6.
Okay,
I did say 6 from the start. I will own up to that.
I had an asterisk. It was whoever wins Game 1, it'll go Thunder in 6, or if the Pacers win Game 1, Pacers win in 7. That's what I said.
He's him.
I think Robbie and I both had predicted the Thunder. I want the Pacers to win, if I'm being totally honest, which some people might be upset at me for, because I went to school in Oklahoma. They're like, shouldn't the Thunder be your second team? Thunder fans are so annoying. I don't want them to win. And so,
correct.
So I want the Pacers to win. Some interesting games that have happened in the past. The past 2 games we haven't covered. So Game 6 and Game 5. I believe Game 5 was the one that Jalen Williams had a 40 piece in, which was a pretty impressive performance. And then in this most recent game, the Thunder yet again struggle a little bit from the field, shooting only 26.7% from the 3-point line. I don't know, man. It's really been back and forth. It's just been good basketball, to be totally honest. And I know we talked about like the small market thing at the beginning of this whole thing, and how this probably wasn't what the NBA wanted. It doesn't matter for the basketball fans out there, the basketball purists, because it's just good hoops, and that's all you can ask for in an NBA Finals.
It feels like these are the 2 best teams in the NBA this year. Just watching the games, it does feel like, okay, these are the 2 teams that should have been here, just on the way they're playing. Chet Holmgren is also terrible.
Yeah, he's bad.
Bros is out there doing cardio, like running Angel Reese stat lines. It's crazy. I don't get it.
Not the Angel Reese stat lines. That's crazy.
I mean, it's unfortunately. I mean, maybe the lights are tattooed, right? Only scoring 4 points in this last game, only having 6 rebounds. Like that is he has to have a bigger role.
And he's ugly.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Okay,
that's a good call out. That's a good take.
Also, Lou Bumass Dort with 3 points. I just had to point that out real quick. Sorry,
he's a defensive specialist. Right?
Exactly, defensive monster.
The Dorcher chamber. I hate him so much. I can't stand him.
On the Thunder.
I have a take. That might get clicks on TikTok. Here's my take. Pacers win. It's the biggest upset in NBA Finals history.
I don't think that's a hot take. They had, I think, the longest odds at the beginning of the season of any team to win the finals if they were to win the finals today.
Nope, that's a hot take. Come on, God, let me have something.
It's not. It's just not a hot take at all.
To be fair to Ryan, though, we talked about it at the beginning of the series, but I think game one, the Thunder were favored by 11.5 or something, which was disrespectful to the Pacers, to be totally honest. So that is kind of crazy. But game 7's tonight. I will definitely, I'm going to get with some friends here and watch it. I'm super excited for that game. And we will. We're gonna. I
really want the Pacers to win. I really do.
I really do.
They're my new team. They're the closest team to an NBA franchise to where I currently live. If they do win, I will be donning Pacers gear on the next podcast.
I like that.
My company has a facility in Indiana, and I believe that they would shut it down if the Pacers won.
There you go.
So for them, I want the Pacers to win.
Ryan, you should go out to the parade. You could get the
You definitely should. Dude, an Indy parade, because they don't win a whole lot of anything, would be hype. That would be.
And it's just hot as piss right now, so that would be miserable for everyone involved.
Yeah.
All right, to the other side of sports real quick. Congratulations to the Stanley Cup winners, the Florida Panthers in 6 games.
So much. They're so good, and they deserve to win, but I fucking hate them so much.
In 6 games, Robbie, any analysis on this finals?
I don't know what Connor McDavid's doing. You gotta win one of these, man. And
can we clip it?
Stunned.
Can we clip it right here that said Robbie?
Robbie
I
thought he was going to do
McDavid is going to turn into the second coming of Gretzky. Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
I hate the Panthers. They're the best team in hockey, and I don't have much analysis outside of that.
That's all right.
Other than I think they're gonna struggle to retain their entire core group, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have some contracts expiring. And they'll be up against the cap a little bit. So we'll see how many they can keep around. I think Sam Bennett said he was going to come back. I'm trying to remember who else's contracts are up. But we'll see if they can keep the core together. I'm not sure that it really matters if you just have a couple of those guys. But we'll see how it goes.
What do you think the chance is that there's a three-peat in terms of the matchup, that it's once again Edmonton versus Florida for the Stanley Cup next year?
I would be surprised if just because the Stanley Cup is all about, at times it can just be whose goalie is the hottest, right?
Sure.
There's been times where Bobrovsky has just carried the Panthers far just because he's completely shut down in goal. Vasilevsky from the Lightning has done that a couple of times as well. So I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of the teams make it back next year. I would be somewhat surprised if it was both of them again.
Yeah.
It's more than likely going to be the Florida Panthers game, which sucks, but realistically.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, we're going to get into our football and primarily including our guest, Jude. Are you ready? Are you ready to get into this?
I am ready.
So we are doing, as you can see by his hat, Jude is a pretty massive Detroit Lions fan. Last week we did a schedule breakdown for the Panthers with Robbie. We're going to do that with the Lions and see what comes.
Who's the bigger homer between me and Jude, though? I'm curious how many wins he puts up.
Yeah. But he has always been saying that this schedule is pretty brutal, which it is. If you look at the Lions schedule,
this is a gauntlet. So, week 1 at Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Now
that's kind of a dub to play in Green Bay that early, I would say.
Exactly.
That's a good thing for the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And we like playing in the cold. We like playing outside. That's a win.
Yeah. All right, a win. Week 1.
Versus Chicago Bears. Okay, Ben Johnson.
It's not going to be cold in September, my guy. You're not going to get to play in the cold. It's going to be 70 degrees.
It's going to be colder than it is in Oklahoma.
That's just relative useless comment to what we're discussing here.
Doesn't matter.
Jesus Christ.
Week 2 in Chicago at home.
Week 2 at home versus Chicago. That's a win. I don't think we let Ben Johnson. I don't think we let Ben Johnson beat us at home.
Yeah. Week 3 at the Baltimore Ravens.
Week 3 is when the gauntlet starts.
Yeah.
We could probably drop a game. We normally drop week 2s, Connor. We've talked about that.
Yeah, that's true.
We love dropping week 2s, but I think we finally pick it up and then lose week 3.
All right.
Versus the Cleveland Browns at home. If it's Joe Flacco starting, which I hope it is, we're gonna win.
Okay.
I want to come back to the Browns in just a second, but keep going through the Lions schedule, and then I do need to point something out on the Browns.
Does it matter who's starting at quarterback? Am I missing something?
I have a take on that, but we'll come back to that once Stu gets through the schedule. Keep going.
All right, week 5.
Okay, this is the real kind of 6-week stretch gauntlet. We have at Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
We don't have a defense.
doesn't matter. If our defense is anything like it was last year at week 5, which was on the verge of being injured, we might.
I think that game might be 42-41. No
Me
bullshit.
too. And I think we pull out the win.
Okay, so you got to win against the Bears.
Okay.
I think we win. Okay. Jared Goff doesn't lose against Kansas City. Against Patrick Mahomes.
Kansas City.
Wow.
At Kansas City, week 6.
I'll have what he's having. Right.
Detroit Lions.
Boss, right here.
Oh, Detroit Lions. He's at 5-1 right now at week 6.
We're 5-1. Week 7, Tampa.
Home against Tampa.
The game last year against Baker was electric. Am I remembering that right? That it was like a shootout that Baker came up there and put up a whole bunch of points.
Correct. And they beat them.
Yep.
And I picked that with a crazy profit boost. I actually won like $100 on that game.
No one cares. Keep going, Jude.
Oh, wow. Heavens.
Tampa, that's a tough game because, we're 5-1. We're coming off 2 very hot teams.
Mm.
We might drop a game, but I think we pull it out.
All right,
you said bye week.
Into the bye week 6-1.
Into the bye week 6-1.
How many playoff teams are you playing in the first 7 weeks? We're saying we're going 6-1.
Yeah,
just wait.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Hold on now.
Minnesota Vikings week 9 at home.
Yeah.
That's a dub.
That's a dub because it's JJ McCarthy.
I am not big on JJ McCarthy.
Do we think JJ McCarthy has a chance to be benched by that point in the season?
I don't think he's that bad.
Who's their backup though, too?
I don't know.
Why do you think he's so bad?
Do they still have Nick
watch
Mullins?
him in college?
Connor, he's been a game manager since day 1.
Okay, so was Brock Purdy, and he was
Purdy's better than JJ McCarthy, and Brock Purdy looked better in college than JJ McCarthy.
AJ McCarron is a comparison to JJ McCarthy. That's my take.
I think that's actually a pretty good one.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good take. Not gonna lie.
All right, Jude, that's 7-1. Wait, did Juju?
Their backup is Sam Howell. They might put him in at some point and let him sling it. He's gonna throw like 4 picks, but he'll also throw 4 touchdowns. Yeah. So it'll be electric.
Yeah. Jameis incarnated.
So you're 7-1 after the Vikings.
White Jameis.
Week 10
at Commanders.
At Washington Commanders.
We get our revenge. That's a win in Washington.
Okay.
All right, so that's 5 playoff teams.
Correct.
At the Philadelphia Eagles, week 11.
At the Eagles.
Schedule is crazy.
At the Eagles, loss.
Okay, thank God he's not
loss.
Completely crazy.
We're not beating the Eagles.
Uh-huh.
They're insane. Unless some wild injury happens. We might drop a game, but I think we pull it out.
All right,
you said week.
Into the bye week 6-1.
Into the bye week 6-1.
How many playoff teams are you playing in the first 7 weeks? We're saying we're going 6-1.
Yeah,
just wait.
Yeah.
Hold on now.
Minnesota Vikings week 9 at home.
Yeah.
4 of them.
That's a dub because it's JJ McCarthy.
I am not big on JJ McCarthy.
Jude hates JJ. I don't think he's that bad.
Do we think JJ McCarthy has a chance to be?
Why do you think he's so bad?
Do they still have Nick Mullins?
Connor, he's been a game manager since day 1.
Okay, so was Brock Purdy, and he was.
Brock Purdy's better than JJ
watch
McCarthy.
him in
and
college?
Brock Purdy looked better in college
Correct.
than JJ McCarthy.
AJ McCarron is a comparison to JJ McCarthy. That's
all right, Jude. That's 7-1. Wait, did Juju?
Their backup is Sam Howell. They might put him in at some point and let him sling it. He's gonna throw like 4 picks, but he'll also throw 4 touchdowns. Yeah. So it'll be electric.
Yeah. So you're 7-1 after the Vikings.
White Jameis.
Week 10
at Commanders.
At
Jameis
Washington
incarnated.
Commanders.
We get our revenge. That's a win in Washington.
Okay.
Correct.
At the Philadelphia Eagles, week 11.
At the Eagles.
All right, so that's 5 playoff
At the
teams.
Eagles, loss.
Okay, thank God he's not.
Jesus,
Loss. We're not beating the Eagles. They're insane. Unless some wild injury happens.
You guys pulling the NFC East and the AFC East as your two
divisions,
two like other divisions is tough. That's a tough draw. On top of you won your division last year, so you have to play all the other division winners. That's
correct.
That's pretty tough.
At home versus the Giants. Yikes. We're winning that game.
Nice.
They might not score.
Okay.
Lock that
might
in.
not score.
Lock that in.
Shutout.
Home versus Green Bay.
Uh-huh.
That's a win. Green Bay's
You're gonna sweep the Packers.
That's what he's
That's what I'm
calling.
hearing.
That's what he's
correct.
calling.
We
Alright.
did it last year with I think we swept the entire division last year.
Already at 10 wins. We're
Already at 10 wins.
Already
through
at 10
13.
wins.
At
On a
home
bad
versus the Dallas
team.
Cowboys, they're awful. Win.
Correct.
I knew that was coming.
Y'all are for sure getting revenge after last year's shenanigans. There's not a chance in hell that we win that game.
49-9.
Yeah.
Come on. You guys are losing.
Uh-huh.
And Hutch is already at probably 25 sacks. He's broken the sack record by week 14.
Assuming he stays healthy.
He looks great.
That's great, but like assuming he stays healthy.
Shh, he's gonna be okay. Don't worry.
Week 15.
At the Rams,
Uh-huh.
loss.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
little bit
Devontae
down to
Adams
earth.
at Puka. Yeah, Devontae Adams at Puka. We can beat Stafford in Detroit. I don't think we can beat him in Los Angeles. That's a tough, especially coming off those other games.
Uh-huh.
There might be more Lions fans in SoFi than there are Rams fans, though.
Easily, actually. I don't think
I
I don't think that'll be hard.
Mhm.
Most of them became Lions fans because nobody in LA
Cares
likes
about
LA
those
teams.
sports. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
At home versus the Steelers, win.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Bum.
I will just say this: his last pass as a Green Bay Packer, as far as I'm aware, was a completion to the Detroit Lions defense,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
which we're kicking his ass.
So let's think about this, Jude. I think we're at 13-2 heading
Yeah.
into week
No, 12 and
Last
3.
game?
12 and 3.
12.
12-3?
Yeah.
Close enough.
Do we have the division locked up by this point?
Yes.
So are we playing the last 2 weeks? Do we care? Trying to get the number 1 seed?
The Lions did not bench their players.
Okay. All right.
Dan
Dan
Campbell
Campbell
is not
will
what- not what
not
he's
bench
about.
their
All right.
players.
All right.
Not what he's
Jared
about.
Goff is playing every game. By this point in the season, Jameson Williams probably has 1,700 receiving yards, 15
Jesus
touchdowns.
Christ.
Oh, okay. That makes
At
sense.
Vikings,
Uh-huh.
I already said it. JJ McCarthy's a bum.
Yep.
Amik Robertson held Jefferson to like 3 catches last year.
Uh-huh.
They're not winning that game.
All right. 13 and 3 going into week 18 at the Chicago Bears.
At Bears, Ben Johnson kicks us in the nuts, and we take a loss in the last week of the season.
Is that game to get the Bears into the playoffs?
No.
You don't think they're gonna do it?
No, that'll be like the Bears' 4th win.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So-
4 wins.
Does another team in your division get to 500?
I feel like the Packers.
The Packers.
Yeah.
If the Lions, if that's for the Lions to have 4 wins, then Caleb Williams is drifting towards generational bust, I would say.
The Bears.
Yeah.
If they only win 4 games with all the stuff they've invested in that offense, generational bust.
I'm with you there. So
They drafted Colston Loveland. They have Cole Kmet. They have a good tight end.
Cole Kmet's pretty mid.
He's kinda
Let's be
mid, yeah.
realistic. Here.
Has he had just mid-ass quarterbacks throwing to him?
Exactly. He's
It came
probably
last year, so is
he's
Caleb
probably a
mid-ass
top
quarterback.
15 tight end.
I
though.
agree
That-
with you.
If he was number 15, that would be the definition of
Of mid.
yeah, it's true.
That's true.
Just to confirm real quick. So Jude has officially predicted the Lions record at 13 and 4. Jude, before we came on this podcast, you said we might go 9 and 8. So I'm a little confused by this 13.
There's a
and 4
possibility.
record.
Okay, listen.
What's-
We could drop the Bengals.
Yeah, it's Chiefs.
We
Robbie,
Jared
I
Goff
want to
doesn't lose to Mahomes.
go back to your Browns thing. I thought you said you had a Browns take.
I
that you wanted
do.
to talk
I was
about
I
earlier.
was quickly looking at the Lions win total odds. They're 10.5 over under. So
Okay.
Jude's going with the over.
The
Yeah.
That's
hammering
actually
the
lower.
over.
That's actually lower than I thought it was gonna be.
It's just
Yeah,
based off
so-
the schedule difficulty. Yeah.
So we were talking about who the Browns are going to start a quarterback, and obviously they have like 4 quarterbacks, which means they don't have a quarterback. That's
Sure.
kind of how that works.
Yep.
Let's review the Browns' first 6 games of the year.
Mm.
Keep in mind that the Browns were really bad last year, so you think their schedule would be easier. However, it's a fucking brutal start of the season. So we got the Bengals at home.
Mm.
Yep.
We go to Baltimore.
Yikes.
Then we have the Packers at home.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Detroit.
Uh-huh.
Then we have the Vikings at home
Mhm.
and at the Steelers.
Yeah, that's
Is the
not
first
great.
6 games for the Cleveland Browns. I think here's what I
Winless?
think is going to happen in the quarterback situation.
5-1.
They're going to probably roll like Joe Flacco out there just
Uh-huh.
to see what happens. And then once they get through the first 6 weeks, they might throw in Shador or Dylan Gabriel, depending on who's been looking better.
I
Or if Shador
forgot
keeps,
they have.
or if Shador keeps getting speeding tickets because he's apparently got 2 already since he got to Cleveland.
Dude, he wants to get out, man.
Yeah, that is what I want to bring up. Is the Brown schedule is brutal to start. I actually
Yeah.
don't think that there's any chance they throw either the rookies out there in the first 6 weeks because they would just get eaten
No, I
alive.
don't think so either.
And then week 7 at home against the Dolphins is when we'll see either Shador or Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, you said roll Flacco out. They physically might roll him out. I mean, he
Yeah,
might
correct.
be.
Or you just throw Kenny Pickett out there and like
Oh
let him
no!
not cook. I don't know.
Oh gosh!
if
Let
you're
him
gonna,
get
if you're already gonna lose, just throw in the guy you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, correct. Throw in the guy. Don't worry if he gets hurt.
I was a Kenny Pickett truther, and then I saw him play professional football, and I had to stop being a Kenny
Oh, you
Pickett truther.
in college
In
you were a
college, I was
truther.
a
Oh,
The fact that you were ever a Kenny Pickett truther
Yeah.
means we need to have a longer chat. That's
I don't know, man. I thought he was good. I thought he was going to be the next thing. All right, so we have gone through the schedule there. I'm sure Ryan and I will have to go through the Dallas Cowboys schedule at some point, just
you
to
can
kind of
go
feel
through the
same.
Cowboys. I'll go through the Bengals if we
Okay,
wanna just
that's fair.
do it that way.
That is totally fair. So we're going to move on to the next thing. Jude has also recently become a member of one of our fantasy football leagues that the other guys and I are in. One of our only listeners, Gabe, he's listening right now. Jude,
He
has,
only.
shout out Gabe.
shout out Gabe.
Jude has taken over Gabe's team because Gabe was like, no more, and he got fleeced in so many trades he couldn't handle it anymore. He couldn't hang.
He's gotten kicked in the nuts a lot.
He's gotten
this
kicked in the-
fantasy league.
So
A
this
lot
is
of
soft.
kicks in the nuts.
Specifically by me. I'll totally own up to it. I've stolen Josh Allen from him. I stole Jamar Chase from him. I will
Yeah.
totally own up to
That's
that.
yeah. Jude, how do you feel about this team knowing that at one point they had Josh Allen and Jamar Chase on this
Yeah,
team?
that is tough.
And they're both on Connor's team now.
Yep.
Not
I didn't know that till now.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
not only did Connor fleece this man,
Yeah.
but he said, "I'm gonna go back to the well
Yep.
and see what else is hanging around," and did it again.
I did. I did do it twice. But Jude, you've got some semi-redeeming pieces, but you also have Jerome Ford and Greg Dortch as a flex. And I don't know, man. I don't think it's looking good for you, Jude. How are you feeling about this team going into the season?
Greg Dortch. Let me tell you something about Greg Dortch.
Okay, tell me something.
Well, let me know.
If he stays healthy on Arizona, he might drop 400 yards and a touchdown for the season. I mean,
Big
seriously,
time.
it might happen.
It's true.
so good.
Gabe, you want to hear?
Excuse me?
Jude. Do you want to hear Gabe's first 3 picks in the startup draft? Do you want to hear what they were?
I would love to.
I don't like
Yeah,
this game.
Jamar
Ryan.
Chase.
Yeah.
Then he went Saquon Barkley,
Holy crap,
and then he went DK Metcalf. You'll
dude!
notice that none of those guys are still on the roster.
Saquon is on the roster.
Oh,
You
sorry,
want me
sorry,
bad.
sorry.
You
But,
want me bad.
I mean, that's a good start to the draft, and the team's not looking great.
Yeah, now I have Tyler Lockett and Rashid Shaheed. I mean, it's going well.
I gave him Rashid Shaheed, and that was also kind of a fleece because I
Yeah,
traded
yeah.
him right before he got hurt too.
Dude, your bench makes me want to throw up. Justice Hill, Aaron Rodgers, Tyler Conklin.
Are you bashing Justice Hill?
I know he's a poke, but like he doesn't.
Oklahoma State legend?
Okay.
He'll return a touchdown on a kickoff once.
Once,
on.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, yeah. I
Mike
don't know.
Williams.
At least you have Stafford. I mean, you like Stafford.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to trade him. I'm trying to trade him out of here, dude.
Man,
So yeah, we
Man,
will
we're,
see.
We're
but-
giving Connor shit about trading with Gabe, but I've also traded with Gabe a couple times and not been very nice about it.
I mean, yeah, come on now. But yeah, so we'll get into that season and we'll keep you guys updated through the year. But Jude, unfortunately, is starting in a bit of a rough spot for the start of this league. So maybe Jude can make some big moves, make some big trades. You know, he loves his Lions players, so get Jameson Williams on the team and just be set from that point on.
He's
I'm
got
selling
4
the
picks in the draft.
franchise.
He's got 4 picks in the rookie draft, so we'll see what
Yeah.
he can do. He's got the 1.02.
Yeah, that's true.
Shadura too.
All right, we are going to
Crazy.
get into our next thing. This is also about fantasy football. We have all crafted our top 5 quarterback lists and our top 5 wide receiver lists as it relates to how we think they're going to finish in fantasy football this year. For reference, wide receivers, we're using the PPR format. But is there anybody that would like to go first? We're going to go from 5 to 1. Ryan, Ryan is urgent.
Do we want to each like give a name and then we can confirm whether the other ones have that name or not? Like, does that make the most sense?
We can, yeah. I mean, that's.
I have a feeling there's a few of these that we're all going to have the same guys.
Yeah, that's
Except Jude might just have 5 Lions wide receivers. Might see Amon-Ra, James Williams. Is Josh Reynolds still on the team? Like, he might be on
Tim
there.
Patrick.
Josh Reynolds is not on the team, dude. Come on.
Sorry.
He was on the Broncos last year.
Jude might throw like a bone to like Golden Tate or something to be like, GT3.
Out of respect, I put one Lions player on each list.
Okay, on each list, and it's not Jared Goff on the other one.
Hendon
Hooker. Yeah. All right, Ryan.
Absolute baller, Hendon Hooker.
Ryan, would you like to start out with wide receivers or quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks.
All right, let's do it.
Joe Burrow.
I also have Joe Burrow on my list.
I also have Joe Burrow on the list.
Jude,
I also have Joe Burrow on the list.
All right.
All right.
He's at my 3 spot personally.
I'm at 4.
Okay.
I have him at 1 too. I have him at 1.
Wow.
There's no defense. He has to.
He does physically have to score. That is correct.
That is wild.
It is good for fantasy.
All right, should we have Jude? We should have Jude give a quarterback now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Give us your 2, Jude.
Lamar.
I also have Lamar. Lamar is my 1.
I have Lamar at 2.
I have Lamar at 3.
There we go. I mean, top 3 for all of us. There's no way that Lamar doesn't, like, in terms of his rushing production. It's
the only way is unless he gets hurt.
But he's been top 3 for the past like 5 years or something like that. He never is not in the top.
Him and Josh Allen pretty much have been just consistent.
Robbie, you want to give us one now?
Yeah, I'll give you my 1 because we've not hit mine yet. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is my number 2, so he's also in my list. Yep.
My 3.
Wow, it's like we're locked the fuck in.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of these guys tend to finish, specifically the quarterbacks tend to finish around the same spot.
Kind of chalk.
Yeah. I will give my 4 is because my top 3 have been named Jalen Hurts.
I'm at 3.
He's Jalen Hurts 4, and Jude does not have Jalen Hurts on the list.
Didn't he talk about how scary the fucking Eagles are?
Yeah, I was about to say. You don't think part of that's going to be Jalen Hurts?
I'm not scared of anyone from OU.
He's really Alabama. He had 1 year at OU, but he initially you love the Tide. You love the Tide.
I love the Tide.
I love the Tide. Hell yeah, brother!
They created the best receiver in NFL history.
Okay. The thing is, he's talking about Jameson Williams. Is the problem here.
He has it ready.
He's got it. He's ready for this. Who? Anybody want to give
right? It swings back around.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Who's your 5?
Baker fucking Mayfield.
I thought about it. I did think about it. I did think about it as well.
Number 5.
He hooped last year. He was like crazy good last year. It was kind of insane.
And I know a lot of people potentially are like, Jaden Daniels just going to get better. I disagree. Sophomore slump.
I
pull CJ Stroud.
I also don't have Jaden Daniels in the top 5. I'm with you.
I have him at 4.
I think 4 is too high.
I think teams figure out how to guard him better.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I had to put someone else on this list, and I can't put him above Jaden Daniels. So Jaden Daniels moved up to 4.
So is Jude? Jude is the next one if we haven't named all yours? Have we named your 5th one, Jude?
Have we named all yours, Jude?
No.
Who's your number 5?
So, little backstory. Now that we have a true wide receiver 1 deep threat,
oh gosh,
I think Jared Goff puts up a crazy season. I think he cuts back on the picks. He's not going to have 2 5-pick games, whatever the hell it was. Jared Goff,
garbage time picks, bro.
Jared Goff
matter.
The NFC Championship was garbage time picks.
He threw like 5 picks.
It was cope.
That was the first half against the Texans last year.
Hey, I will say to Jude's credit, Goff was 6 last year. Goff was number 6 last year, so he can't.
But he's also a year older now.
Well, yeah, so are you, bozo. Like,
it doesn't matter. He doesn't move.
Yeah.
As long as he has an arm and he's not super duper old, he's just going to heave the rock to the two best receivers in the NFL.
You know the worst thing about fantasy football now is like when we talk about these guys, I realize that I'm the same age as them, and that is unfortunate.
Yeah, he's 30.
That feels really bad.
So you're still a little younger.
Well, Jared Goff, like Joe Burrow's our age.
Yeah.
Jane Daniels is younger than I am, so that's it's tough.
Yeah,
but
Jalen and Joe.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago when I realized that the guys getting drafted were like around my age, I was like, whoa, this is terrible.
We've not hit my number 5 yet.
Sure.
I don't know if anyone else has anyone left.
I have my 5 left also.
No, he's coming off a Super Bowl loss. I think this is the best receiving core that he's had with Rashee Rice coming back and being healthy. I have Patrick Mahomes at the 5.
I thought about it.
Vomit.
He kind of had a quietly bad passing year last year, though, even like outside of fantasy.
He really, out of the last few years, he's just been kind of
it's been a
Game manager.
Okay.
That's a take.
That is a terrible take.
That is a take. No, I think,
but it's a good take.
I think he rebounds this year. I think if the receiving core is healthy, I think Travis Kelce's still going to have one more good year. I think Mahomes will be at the 5.
I guess that would be part of my argument. Is like I just don't think Kelsey's at that point anymore, and without Kelsey, like I don't see him doing that again.
Again, all Kelce has to do is run downfield and find open space. That's what he's good at. It doesn't really take a lot of speed to do.
Can he still run though?
Does he have to? I think he could lumber downfield and just find, space in the zone and still be fine.
That's true.
My number 5, and probably the most outside pick on the board that you guys might not agree with. I think he has a crazy bounce back here. I think his entire receiving core is healthy. I think this team becomes more successful this year. Give me CJ Stroud of the Houston Texans to be my number 5 fantasy quarterback on the year.
You know who I also kind of considered honorable mention because he got a true wide receiver 2 now? I did think about Dak Prescott.
Oof.
I did think about it. No. He's not there, but I did consider it. I think Pickens and CD is a good one to set up there.
I think it's fair. All right, we're going to move on to our top 5 wide receivers. Ryan, you want to kick us off again?
Absolutely. If I'm taking Joe at number 1, then I got to take the stack. We're going Jamar at number 1 as well.
Jamar number 1. Oh, number 2 for Jude. Okay.
Jamar's not my number 1. Fantasy team. It might be a little bit of bias, but Jude, who's your number 2? Or number 1, I guess. Who's your number 1? Oh gosh.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Having another breakout year last year, I think it just makes sense that Jameson Williams takes the step up and, surpasses.
You have him as your number 1.
So this is a very serious podcast that you're on, and I cannot believe you're disgracing the integrity.
Jameson
I have
Williams?
listened to every episode. This is the opposite of that.
All right, he's got it. Jameson's not on my list. He does not.
He's not on my list.
Not on my list.
Not on my list. No.
Robbie, who's your number 2?
My number 2, I kind of just talked about his team in my honorable mentions, but I do have CD Lamb at number 2.
I don't have CD on my list.
Really?
I know a lot of people think that's a hot take. I do think that Pickens takes a considerable amount because of what you just said, because Pickens is the only other decent.
I think Pickens
makes
CD better.
I agree. I think Pickens
it's
makes
possible.
CD better.
I think that's totally possible. I don't know. I'd see a little bit. I think he'll still be like 6. I think he'll still be right there. I just don't know if he'll be top 5 for me personally. My number 2. Is there some fantasy bias in this? Absolutely. But I think he's going to be in the list regardless. Give me Malik Neighbors of the New York Giants. I think he has another
Who's
great
throwing
year.
him the ball, Connor?
Doesn't
Jackson
matter.
Dart?
He had Daniel Jones last year and was number 3.
Hey, do not slander Daniel Jones.
He's awful.
Agreed.
Agreed. No.
Now that he is out of New York, he's going to go nuclear.
There's also a difference between like a bad veteran and a bad rookie, because the rookie doesn't really know what the hell he's doing. Yeah. I just don't see it. But this is what the Giants offense is good enough.
This is what every single person said last year. Every single person said the exact same thing last year, and he's number 3. So I'm like, he's so talented that I think he just comes they're gonna force feed him. They're gonna give him 15 targets a game.
I don't know.
But I think a vet will try to spread the ball more than just like hyper focusing on just the best guy.
Russ is spreading the ball to the defense. I mean, he's not throwing the ball.
Who's starting week 1 for the Giants?
It's Wilson.
Russ.
Wilson.
They might as well just throw Jameis Winston out there and let him ball. Like, come on.
I love Jameis Winston. Yeah.
God, they got some fucking unks on that team. Holy shit!
Yeah.
What are the Giants doing?
This is a wild QB room. You have Russ, you have Jameis, and you have Jackson Dart. Like, that's a wild amount
What
of
does the
personality.
conversation with those guys look like?
Yeah, what do they talk about?
And Tommy DeVito.
Oh.
And Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, what is even more so? What are those guys talking about?
Speaking of New York quarterback room, I saw a fantasy football listing that had Justin Fields finishing as a top 10 fantasy quarterback of the year.
Correct.
Gosh,
How disgusting is that? And how do we feel about that?
Correct.
Dude is obviously Justin Fields Glazer.
I'm low-key a Justin Fields Glazer.
Me too.
No, why?
Me too.
Why?
He cannot read a defense.
He don't have to read. He's like Floyd Mayweather. Why he reading?
He had the Bears O-line,
Facts.
and then he was a backup quarterback.
Okay,
In
you didn't make a
Pittsburgh.
case. That wasn't a case for why he's going to be good.
I'm just saying. He won some games for Pittsburgh last year. Let's not.
He was 4-2 on Pittsburgh last year.
That is true. That is true.
In the classic Pittsburgh fashion, to be fair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has a good head coach now, Aaron Glenn from the Detroit Lions.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Would you rather have at this point in their career Aaron Rodgers or Justin Fields? Because basically the Jets and Steelers traded quarterbacks.
I'd rather have of course. It depends on what the rest of my team looks like, but I'd probably rather have Fields. Yes, but
There you
I
go.
don't know. He
He already has a connection with Garrett Wilson.
That is a good point as well.
There you go. All right. Who were we on? Who was? I think Ryan. Back to Ryan because I said Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
So Ryan,
Sounds
who's
right.
your 3? I guess, or if we have named your 2.
I just gotta say Jettas, man.
Oh yeah.
Don't have him on the list.
What?
Don't
Yeah,
have him in the
no,
top
that-
5.
That's
That's a bad
criminal.
take.
That's actually a
That's-
bad take.
That's because I'm a JJ McCarthy hater.
I too hate
100%.
JJ
And, like,
McCarthy.
Let me be clear. He's like 6, right? I just don't think he's gonna finish top 5.
Okay.
I really don't.
He's at my 3 slot.
JJ has to
on
push
Robbie's
the ball,
list?
and who else is he pushing the ball to?
Jettas has to. If we're making the whole argument about like a dog ass quarterback throwing to Malik Neighbors,
Yeah, exactly.
Jettas is
No,
in
I
the
agree.
same conversation.
Well, I don't have either of them on my list.
So no, you're consistent. I totally agree.
But the even better thing about Jettas is that like the Vikings have more people to spread the ball to than the Giants do, and so he'll get.
True.
I think he'll have more opportunities. Neighbors is going to get triple covered like a ton, and so even I still think he'll be up there though. All right, Jude, who is your next top one that we haven't named yet?
At 4, I think that if he has another healthy receiving core around him, he takes another step up. I think it's Nico Collins.
I have him at 3.
I don't have Nico on my list. I think there's too
Wow.
I
many
have Nico
guys
on my list.
in Houston.
If
Even though I do
Siege
think
can-
CJ has a great year.
I think if Siege comes back from his kind of sophomore slump,
Yep.
he's gonna be
And-
pushing the rock.
And there's a lot of people that are concerned because like they drafted some more wide receivers. There's a lot of mouths to feed, but Nico is that guy. Like he is the number 1 in that room.
Sure.
I think that's only going to help him out. I think he'll be in the top 5.
Robbie, who's your next one we haven't named yet?
I have who I think is the more realistic Detroit Lion to finish in the top 5. That being the sun god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's at my number 4.
I don't have
Oh,
him on the
Amon-Ra.
list.
I have him at 4.
He's just going to catch the ball so many times. He's going to get so many targets and just catch the ball all the time. So
Yeah.
I had him tied at 5th.
okay.
Just in PPR, he just catches so many. He
yeah,
just gets so many
exactly.
receptions. There's no way you can not have him in the top 5. I think,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Jameson Williams.
you guys ready for my number
Yeah,
5?
If Jason Williams has 2K yards, it might be hard for Amon-Ra to get
That is
there,
a
too.
really good point. Yeah, Hold
I
on,
get it.
Jude. We have Jameson at 1, and we're gonna have Amon-Ra tied for 5th. Is
you go.
Goff throwing the ball 60 times a game?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So wait, that is a waste of Jameer Gibbs. if
You know,
throwing the ball
actually,
60 times a
Like,
game.
you're throwing it 10 times to Jameer. Like he's
Jameer Gibbs needs 3 carries, and that's 100 yards.
Jude actually has Jameer Gibbs also tied at 5 for wide receivers. He's gonna get so many catches.
correct.
We love that goal line kind of corner
Yeah,
Texas
yeah.
route.
Yeah.
He hits Jameer Gibbs on that every time.
My number 5 is a dark horse. I like to throw in a dark horse candidate every once in a while. Robbie's gonna love this pick. Give me T-Mac of the Carolina
At 5.
Panthers as my number 5 receiver. Bryce Young, I think he's gonna be good this year.
I think so too.
And I think the Panthers they were a little pass heavy last year, and I think they're going to continue to be that way, especially with adding McMillan to this core. I think he catches a ton of balls. I think he has a Neighbors type season, to be totally honest.
If T-Mac finishes as the 5th overall fantasy wide receiver, the Panthers are in the playoffs. 100%.
It's possible.
I could see.
I don't think he's going to finish top 5. But
do you think he'll be top 10? Do you think he might be top 10?
I think he'll be right around 10.
Okay. Hey, that's good. That's great for a rookie receiver in that team. So, have we not named anybody's 5 yet?
I still have my 5th out there.
Oh, okay.
I have 2.
Ryan. Oh,
Ryan still has 2. All right, so go ahead, Ryan.
Right.
This man was hurt a good chunk of last season.
Mm-hmm.
His rookie year, he finished number 3. I think Pookie with Matt Stafford only throwing to one receiver will excel well in PPR. I have him at my 4.
I have him at my 5.
I don't know why, man. It's just
they have Davante Adams now.
Yeah.
And
washed.
Yeah.
Washed or not Davante Adams.
They had Cooper Kupp as well. What is your point? Cooper Kupp was better than Davante Adams this year.
I disagree.
Interesting. I don't know. I didn't have him on my list, but like I understand where people are coming from. I'd probably
he had a 37% target share. I mean, the dude is actually the ball is shoved in his mouth.
Right. He's just like Amon-Ra. It's the same thing. They get force fed. They get a bunch of receptions in PPR. They're just going to put up points.
I think that's fair. All right, Jude, did you have anyone that we haven't named yet?
I did. I have another dark horse.
Other than Jameson Williams at 1.
That's not a dark horse.
Oh, okay.
Lock it in.
So, coming from a team that had no O-line that forced their quarterback to move a lot.
Yeah.
He's now on a team with a good O-line with a quarterback that cannot move and only throws the ball. I have DK Metcalf at 5.
I don't hate that pick actually. I do think that he can have a bit of a resurgence here. And
he's our only receiver now.
I actually do not hate that pick, so, to be totally honest.
My only thought is that neither Garrett Wilson or Davante Adams had great years last year with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but they're
and like Davante's his guy. Like Davante is his.
Yeah,
dude.
but Davante was like legitimately kind of getting a little washed at that point, whereas like DK is not. DK
it's also the Jets.
Yeah, of course.
My backup point, it's the Jets.
Awful O-line as well. So.
All right, Robbie, do we have one more that we haven't named for you?
I know we hit all mine.
Okay, cool. So we have named
Ryan has one.
Ryan.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Ryan, last one.
I was very high on this man last year, even with how good the rookie receiving class was. I think he continues to step forward and solidifies his position as the number 1 receiver on this team. I think 5 is ambitious, but with what we saw, I think it's possible. I'm going BTJ at 5.
Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jaguar. You don't think Travis Hunter takes any of that share?
No.
I don't.
Who's throwing him the ball?
The man who's
Trevor
been throwing him the
Trevor
ball.
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is awful, and now
I'm right there with
serious
you.
brain injury.
You're on the right podcast to be throwing out some Trevor Lawrence hate. I am a Trevor Lawrence hater.
Robbie, are you not concerned that you keep agreeing with Jude's quarterback takes?
No,
like he
not
just
at
said
all.
Jameson Williams is going to be the number 1 receiver in fantasy football.
I did agree with him on his wide receiver takes. So
yeah, but the quarterback, you're right there.
I do have a dark horse I didn't put in my top 5,
Sure.
but DK is gone. Cooper Kupp is there now, but he's still the best wide receiver on the team. JSN, I think, is going to have very good years, assuming that Sam Darnold plays like he did last year, which is a big if. But
that I think is your issue right there.
Sam Darnold.
He has no O-line.
So it's Sam Darnold, bro.
They drafted some late round guard. Sam Darnold is awful.
What? They got it done with Geno. It's not like Geno's out there running around.
Whoa, Geno is a great quarterback.
He's more mobile than Darnold. See, Robbie, this is who you're agreeing with.
There's no way they were saying that Geno is a great quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a serviceable quarterback.
I think it's a little better than serviceable, to be honest. I think Geno's a good quarterback.
He is the tier above mid and below good.
He's in the Kirk Cousins tier.
He's better than Kirk. I'm a Kirk Glazer. He's better than Kirk Cousins. Come on now.
He's in the Kirk Cousins tier.
Are you talking like Kirk in his prime?
Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
I'm saying he is one of those quarterbacks that you're like, okay, he can win us some games, maybe gets to the playoffs. You will never win a Super Bowl with Geno.
Okay.
I think Geno's a top 10 quarterback this year.
That is crazy.
Ooh,
I can't.
wow.
That is.
All right, let's start giving him. Like that's nuts.
That's pretty wild. All right, we're going to go to our next thing here just to keep it moving. I have some NFL trivia for you, gentlemen. Being the NFL
Do
fans,
we want
that
to do
we
my
are.
trivia right after this, Connor? We can do
Yes.
NFL trivia and
We
then
can,
mine. Okay.
we can absolutely do that. NFL trivia. I have 10 questions for you guys. We're going to go through them pretty quick. I'm going to say the question. You guys say your name as a buzz in. You only get one opportunity to buzz in. If you get it wrong, get it wrong. If you get it right, then you get the point. And we'll keep track of it and see who is the winner at the end of it. All right, here we go. Question 1. The iconic NFL on Fox theme song was partially inspired by which superhero?
Oh man.
Robbie? Superman?
It is not Superman.
No idea.
I'm gonna take a stab at this one next. Batman.
It is Batman.
Dang
Ryan
it.
gets.
Wow.
Dang.
Ryan gets.
I was on the right track. I was on the right track.
You were on the right track. All right, Ryan has 1 point. Robbie
That's a
has
crazy trivia question. That's a good
negative
one.
1.
Yeah,
point.
that's what we're starting.
Oh,
with.
I
know.
lose.
No,
Oh,
I'm
if
kidding.
I
I'm
missed
kidding.
it,
I'm kidding.
I was like, if I miss, I lose points. That's
I'm
crazy.
It's like Jeopardy, bitch.
All right. How many NFL teams have bird mascots?
Robbie.
5.
Four.
It is not 4. Say your name.
5.
All right.
Me.
Jude's right. It is 5.
Dang it, that was what I thought first. I second-guessed myself.
Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks,
Ravens.
Eagles,
Ravens.
Eagles.
Yeah.
I was getting there.
Dang
I
it.
forgot about the Ravens. I had 4, and I was like, "There's got to be one more."
I almost said 5.
I should have just said 5, and then
Yeah.
figured it out as I was listing them off.
I gotta stop going first.
Remember, say your name as a buzzer. Say your name as a buzzer, and I will make sure that you know. All right.
Robbie's at -2. I like the negative points.
Give me all the negative points.
Question 3. Which running backs make up the duo nicknamed Sonic and Knuckles?
Ryan.
Ryan. I heard Ryan first.
That would be Jahmyr Gibbs and Demo.
It is Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
I forgot to say my name.
Yeah, you were like,
I said,
All right. Question 4. Which NFL team holds the record for longest losing streak of all time at 26 games?
Robbie. The Browns.
It is not the Cleveland
oh,
Browns.
I thought it was.
No,
I'm at -3.
it is not. Jude, sorry.
is it the Lions?
It is not the Detroit Lions.
I got a free roll.
You do have a free roll.
I think I know who it is.
The Browns are the only team with a winless season, but they don't have the longest losing streak. Because I almost put that question in, but I was like, there was.
Yeah.
It's a little easier. This
Man,
one's
I don't know.
This one's. I don't think a lot of people would think about this team to be totally honest.
Connor,
Yeah.
in 2008, the Lions went 0-16.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Yeah, Browns and Lions. I guess they're both the two.
That's why I got that.
Yeah.
From, because I figured
Ryan, and we're gonna go. Oh man, this is tough.
Just throw it out.
The Raiders. I don't know.
It's not the Raiders.
Can I
It
get
is-
my backup answer? I won't get the points. But I
Sure,
just
yeah,
want- Is it the Buccaneers?
It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Dang it.
Are 26 games in a row.
What
they
what
lost.
year was that?
It's back when
well,
they
it
had
was
the
kind- it
creamsicle
was back to
jerseys.
back.
They were
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
When
They
they
were
had the
really
orange
bad.
creamsicle jerseys, they were really bad.
Next question. All right. Currently, Ryan has 2 points. Robbie has no points, and Jude has 1 point. Next question.
Actually, I said -3.
How old was the NFL's oldest player, George Blanda, when he retired?
Ryan, 43.
It is not 43. If nobody
Robbie.
gets it exact, I'll give the point to whoever's closest. Robbie.
45.
It's not 45. Jude.
50.
It is not 50, but Jude is the closest. 48. 48
Dang.
years old whenever.
Because I
he
thought
retired.
Brady said it. Was Brady not the?
No, he wasn't up there yet.
No,
Maybe I think he might have been the oldest
Quarterback.
starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's
that's-
starting quarterback.
How,
yeah.
how
I
old
might
was
have
the
confused.
How old was the lineman on the Rams?
I didn't know.
Oh, that was
Whitworth?
Yeah, how
he
old
was.
Whitworth?
He was like 40, 41, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought he was a little.
Because Brady played till 43, right? Isn't that was
I
the
think
number
he
I had in my head?
older, wasn't
40. I thought he was
I was
44 at
45.
least.
I
Yeah.
thought it was 44 as well.
he? Yeah, I thought it was that old. All right, next question. Which NFL division has the most Super Bowls shared among the teams?
Jude,
Jude.
the NFC East. No,
That
that's
is-
wrong.
That is
Oh,
correct.
that's right.
No,
NFC
it
East
was
is
it was
correct.
Cowboys and Eagles have what 11. I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yep,
I was
Giants
thinking
have two.
NFC East
Giants
or
have
AFC
2.
West.
it is the NFC East. That is correct.
Yeah.
All right.
I was thinking
But I'm
maybe
gonna get shut out.
AFC North, but the Browns aren't helping. So
Yeah.
Which team is currently the only franchise without a logo on its helmet?
Jude
Jude.
Browns.
It is the Cleveland Browns. That is
damn,
correct.
nice.
Who's locked in?
Yeah.
He is locked in. All right, here we go.
All that madness coming in clutch.
Facts.
Who is currently the longest tenured head coach with 17 seasons coaching the same team? Ryan.
Mike Tomlin.
It is Mike Tomlin. That is correct. All right, 2 more questions. If Ryan gets both of them, he wins. If he gets one of them, he wins.
I just gotta get on
Robbie,
the board.
Robbie, you gotta get on the board.
Just gotta get on the board.
You know the rules for getting skunked in anything, Rob. These go back to college.
Which NFL team is actually a publicly owned nonprofit? Ryan.
Yeah, I knew it too.
Damn it.
It is the Green Bay Packers. That is
Let's
correct.
go.
For all,
I thought we have to wait. Can we say it before you get
yeah,
done
you can say it
talking?
before I get
Yeah.
done talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know, so I was just going with it. Like he was gonna tell me if I couldn't, and then we'd just. Go
However,
from
if
there.
you buzz, then I will. Yeah, I'll start reading the questions. This is the last one anyway, so it's all right. All right, lock in here, Robbie. This is just to get on the board.
I've known the last few. I just haven't been fast.
gotta be clear in that.
Which NFL stadium has hosted the most Super Bowls?
Robbie. I just had to get my name in here so I could think about it for a second.
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 5.
Is it
4, 3.
Hard Rock Stadium?
It is not Hard Rock
Jude.
Stadium. Jude.
New Orleans. New Orleans. The Superdome.
It is the Superdome.
That's what I was.
Yes, come on.
If Jude had said something different, my guess would have been Superdome, but I
It
wasn't
is the
confident
Superdome.
enough. Damn
Yep.
it!
Jude wins trivia with 5.
It's
Ryan.
old enough. I have so many.
That's what I was thinking.
Robbie does not get on the board, but you know.
Who would be the second stadium? That one
That's
is
what I was
actually
just
kind of
looking at.
interesting
I don't know actually.
because some of those like farther like southern teams are newer and or have
Yeah.
had new stadiums,
Mhm.
and they only have Super Bowls in the South. Would it be like Arizona? Maybe.
I don't know. Are any of you guys looking at Robbie? Looking it up?
I'm trying to find it. Yeah.
What NFL stadium?
So Miami has hosted the
Hosted.
most, just not all at one stadium.
Yeah.
There were half of them were at Hard Rock and half were at the Orange Bowl.
You
Okay.
did
And
say
then-
Hard Rock, so yeah, that
I
would
did.
be
Yeah.
that's tough.
New Orleans is second with this 10 and then 11 Astros. Oh, because they host 2025. So now Miami and New Orleans are tied by city.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
Los Angeles has 8, Tampa has 5, Phoenix has 4.
So LA. All right.
Man, that's a tough beat. I was kind of
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that is, I mean,
Low-key.
you were. It is tough. All right, Robbie, you want to go to your trivia real quick?
Yeah, so we're bringing this back, and mostly just 'cause I want to see Ryan and Connor just get smoked.
is.
I'm just gonna absolutely just die.
So we have 5 teams. They're going to guess their mascots like we did a couple weeks ago. All of these teams have made the NCAA tournament in basketball, I think within the last 5 years. I tried to pull recent ones to see if people have been paying attention when they make their brackets. So I will say the school. We will buzzer in just like we did for the last one, saying your name, and you will give me their mascot.
Yikes.
All right, we ready?
Here we go. I guess.
Kennesaw State.
Brian,
Yes.
No.
Go ahead, Ryan.
that would be the Owls.
Who?
I knew that actually.
Who?
I was hesitant because I was so bad last time.
Shout out Atlanta and Robbie's girlfriend Hannah.
Shout out Hannah.
Went to Kennesaw State.
There's multiple Kennesaw State things around me right now, actually. All right. Next up, SIU Edwardsville.
I'm cooked.
Yikes.
Yikes. So not normal SIU.
No, SIU Edwardsville specifically. They made the NCAA tournament last year
Connor.
for this most recent one. Go ahead, Connor.
The Broncos.
It's not the Broncos.
Let's
Let's see you. It was kind of funny. Yeah, I didn't know.
Jude and Ryan, we want to take a stab?
Yeah, any stabs? Stab
Come on,
in the
Jude.
back?
You guess first. What do we got? Get in that bag.
There is a 50% chance it's a bird, and then there's like a 30% chance it's a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yo, bird or cat?
Bird or
Prey
cat?
or predator?
Eagles.
Oh, he's got eagle.
It's not the Eagles.
Ryan.
I don't. Looking at Jude's hat, they're the Lions. The
Yes.
Edwardsville Lions. There you go.
They're not the Lions, but you were on the right track. It was a cat.
Fuck.
They are the Cougars.
Like BYU, man. That's brutal.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. University of Omaha.
Oh, I know this one.
I think I know this one too, Ryan.
I think I used
Okay.
to.
I think it's the Mavs.
It is, in fact, the Mavericks.
2-0-0. That is.
He knows it
awful.
because it's his favorite team. He's locked in.
Why is Ryan locked in now? And
Ryan's cooking right now. Ryan's got 2.
Ryan's
No one else has any
cooking.
points.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, this is a fun one.
Sure.
UC Irvine.
I feel like I know this one too. They were in the tournament this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it's like the. Is it 2 words and is 1 word a color?
No.
Damn it.
The hell were you gonna guess?
Something wild. God, I don't
Anyone
know.
want to buzz in? Take a stab.
Connor,
Connor, go ahead.
Grizzly Bears.
It's not the Grizzly Bears.
Dang.
Is it 2 words that's like one animal?
It's 1 word, as far as I know.
What?
I have it spelled on my screen as 1
Jude
word.
is
So
in a
Well, I meant
blood
like not like separately 2 words, but like the animal is 2 words combined.
it's 1 word.
It's still 1 word.
I'm
Again,
gonna say my guess. Okay, Jude.
Okay.
Is it the anteaters?
It is the Anteaters.
oh, we got it.
Deep hole. Let's
Anteater is 2 words that are 1 word.
Yeah, that's
I didn't lie to you. I said it was 1 word.
It
I
is
just
1
wasn't going to
word.
give you that hint.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Well,
2
all right.
words.
The last one, very geographically relevant for Ryan. The University of Northern Kentucky.
Ryan.
Yep.
The Norse.
It is the Norse.
Ah, whatever.
Ryan
I know.
with the dub.
3-1-0.
failed out with some of these selections, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, suck it, Jude.
Robbie, I think we just need to do this every week so that we
So you
aren't
can learn.
casuals.
Yeah, yeah.
So we aren't casual.
Yeah, Connor and I both have now been shut out, so that's a tough
Yeah,
scene.
that
Welcome
is
to the
brutal.
club, Connor.
I appreciate it.
Let's go.
All right, we're going to switch up a little bit into, well, I mean, that was kind of a perfect transition because we're going to get into some college football. Gentlemen, I just wanted to have a conversation real quick, just quickly. I mean, 2 of us from Oklahoma State University, 2 of us from the University of Alabama, just kind of having a general conversation about our time in school. Obviously, Jude's still there, but just like our favorite football memories that we have from our time associated at school. Obviously, you guys, you know, the Alabama boys witnessed national championships. Jude and I witnessed 2 losses in the Big 12 championship. So, you know, not quite up there. But Ryan and Robbie, are there any favorite and least favorite memories you guys have of being Alabama football fans?
We're gonna have the same top one, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah.
2nd and 26. So we weren't there, but we
Uh-huh.
were on the strip in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And as soon as that play went on, it just pandemonium. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy. Beer bottles flying, everyone's running out into the streets. There were guys trying to flip cars, guys on top of cars. Like
Uh-huh.
it was crazy. That's definitely number 1 for sure. Like I don't think it's even close for me.
And one that's like post grad
Mm.
that still like was just insane was Gravedigger.
Yep.
That might be the most shocked I've ever been at the end of a game. It was written so out of my mind. I was like, oh, we're playing in fucking Jordan Hare. Like this bullshit always happens. Like I'm not even like going to pay attention to this. And he came down with that ball. I could not believe that play.
Mhm.
I was with a bunch of like non-Alabama fans, and they were talking that good shit because like you guys are gonna lose, like it's over, and then that happened. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I'll throw out. I was at the Orange Bowl too, where we played Oklahoma and beat Kyler Murray.
There you
Just
go.
being there, that's definitely up there as well. That was cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
We also got to do our the opening of the Mercedes Stadium.
Yeah, first college football game in Mercedes.
That is
Where
very
we
cool.
played Florida State and
Yeah.
God, who was that quarterback
Um,
that got hurt?
that got hurt immediately. Shoot, I don't remember his name.
Georgia?
No,
No,
Florida
Florida
State's.
State.
Well,
Oh,
they were
sorry.
ranked. They were ranked number 3, and it truly did start the decline of the Florida State program. Was him getting hurt in that game because they finished the season like I don't know, like 8-4 or whatever. They haven't really been the same since. But that game was so fucking hostile because they put the student sections right across from each other from the
God.
schools,
That
and they
is
brought down
awful.
like security in between like the halves. and beer was like $5 a beer because that's what the Atlanta stadium was like.
Mercedes is crazy cheap.
It's the cheapest concessions like in the country for NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
So everyone was acting an absolute fool.
Yeah.
And that was a great memory.
To throw a least favorite at you guys, A&M loss, the loss at A&M. Maybe
also has to be up there is when LSU came in with Joe Burrow and beat us.
Yeah.
That one sucked just because we kept getting like we'd get within like a score and then they go score and go up 2 again.
Yeah,
it was like we couldn't quite get ourselves back in the game the whole time. So that one was unfortunate.
Retrospectively, though, you got to feel a little bit better about that because some people qualify that as the greatest college football team of all time, and so it's kind of like
I think that Alabama team was good enough to beat them. And I mean, like I said, they kept trying to get back in the game, and they got off to a slow start and couldn't get themselves back into it. If anyone was going to beat LSU that year, it was Alabama, 100%.
And when Robbie says like we're good enough to beat them, I'm not saying like we're good enough to beat them majority of the time. It's like if you
4 out of 10 times.
If you play 10 games, Bama's probably taken 3 to 4 depending on where you play that game. Yeah. That game was just so hyped up because I think Trump was in town. I mean, it was
security was crazy.
It was like the biggest game in like the last 10 years. I mean, it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
If any team was going to beat them that year, which not a lot of teams were going to beat them that year, but Alabama had the best shot to beat that LSU team.
And I think we actually had more players drafted off of our team than LSU did. I mean, we were absolutely stocked as well that year. So it was not like we had fallen
Tua
off.
wasn't 100% either. Like if Tua's fully healthy for that game too, could have been different. So
we were at the game that Tua got hurt at Mississippi State, right?
We were,
yeah. And we came back from that game like, oh shit, like
we're dead.
Our season.
We're dead.
Yeah. I think Jude and I probably have a lot of similar answers. But we've been, for those listeners that don't know, Jude and I were in marching band in Oklahoma State I've been there the past 4 years and just graduated. And so went to the majority of the games, obviously, all the home games and stuff like that. Probably the best college football game, one of the best college football games I've ever seen, definitely the best one I've ever been to in person. Ryan was actually at the game, was my 2021 Oklahoma State versus OU. It's one of the best Bedlam games I've ever seen. It was ridiculous. We somehow ended up beating them, and then we beat them again my junior year in the last Bedlam. We kicked them in the ass on the way out.
That's my number one.
Colin Oliver with a big
cried.
stack. Yeah, a lot of people cried. People around me were crying too because they were just so happy that we were just kicking them the butt on the way out.
On the way out. Yeah,
I cried. I was in tears. That was awesome. I hate OU.
Yeah. Jude, you got any other favorites you're thinking of? So many least favorites. I'm gonna name them all. What do we get?
Go ahead. I've got one.
Did you know that I went to the Bedlam game with my dad? What year was that, Connor? When OSU beat the brakes off of OU by like 25, 30 points to go to like the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, 2011? Was that 2011?
Yeah. No, it wasn't 2011.
We talked about this. Ryan's undefeated at Bedlam, right?
Yeah, 2-0.
He's undefeated at Bedlam when he's in present. Yeah. So, Jude, any more favorites you're thinking of?
I have one. It's a little goofy because it's more revolved around us being in the band.
Sure, yeah.
My freshman year, so your sophomore year, when we went to OU for Bedlam and got our ass kicked.
Destroyed.
Yes. Listen, after that game, do you remember what we did?
Say it again.
We went down into do you remember what we did after that game finished?
Oh yeah, we played Spain. Yeah.
We went down into their tunnels and were blasting a song. And their fans were just throwing beer at us. We were just playing, dude, and they were so mad.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good memories. Unfortunately, there's a lot of horrible memories associated with my time in terms of the games.
4th and goal.
First of which being Baylor, the Big 12 championship against Baylor, where we were, that close from being in probably
8 times.
Because they wanted to keep Cincinnati out no matter what. They were like, if we had won that game, we would have been in the CFP.
And you would have played Alabama.
And we would have gotten destroyed. But we would have been in there. Jude and I would have gotten to go to that game as a marching band. So one of the most brutal games ever. And then obviously our 48-0 game against Kansas State when we lost.
That was crazy.
State. That was a tough one, man.
Were you there, Connor?
No, I wasn't there. Thank God.
I was there.
He was in person.
I will say, their mascot came over to us, and Pete pulled his gun on him. It was awesome. Pulled his gun on the cat.
Pistol Pete is a top 10 college mascot.
Correct.
Nobody can
Top
convince me
5
otherwise.
college mascot.
Yeah.
Earlier in that season, losing to South Alabama was
I
a
remember that
horrible
one. Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad.
Dad was in a vile mood.
That was when Connor. I
It
think
was
Connor
junior
at the
year.
beginning of that year had projected them to win the Big 12,
Big
if I'm
12?
not mistaken,
Yikes.
and then they immediately lost to South Alabama.
You know what the absolute, and then I can't, sometimes I mix up my sophomore and junior years, but I think it was my sophomore year, the last game of the season, the regular season, we played against West Virginia at home, and we were like 7-6. Nobody cared. It was pouring rain. It was freezing
rain.
And we lost to West Virginia, who were like a 3-1 team, 20-19, and nobody was at the game either. It was awful. It was one of the worst games I've ever been to. It was like,
if we're gonna go through this, at least fucking win, man. Like
that's
it's
what
not
I'm
that
saying,
hard.
dude. It was so bad. It was so bad. Obviously, in our junior year, like we started off really bad, and then we got hot again, or my junior year, excuse me, and then proceeded to go to UCF and lose 45-3, and out of nowhere. So
Yeah, that was tough.
yeah. And then obviously this last year, only winning 3 games at the beginning of the year, and then proceeding to lose out the rest of the season.
So
Yeah,
you guys
the
are on a 9-game
2024
lose streak.
We are.
The 2024 season is my worst memory.
Yeah, it's so
The
bad.
entire thing.
We beat Tulsa
Hey.
and then never won another game.
But at least you guys didn't lose to OU last year. We did.
Correct. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing. That team's
I was angry.
Yeah, you
That
were
might be
pissed.
the worst mood I've been in after a Bama game. That
Yeah.
was like a regular season game that really didn't like account for anything. Like it would have been some like chaos, and like if we beat OU, we potentially could have flirted with being like, in the CFP playoff or whatever. But
Do you guys want to know how many games Alabama lost during Ryan and I's tenure at the school?
Like
Keep in mind,
2.
6 years for Ryan.
postseason as well
Included. Yep.
Was it like 2?
9.
Oh, okay. I was like,
But in undergrad, we only lost 4.
yeah,
so
that's-
one
including
game per
postseason.
year.
That's
Yeah.
wild. That is
losing in the
insane.
national championship.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a tough one, yeah.
well,
Twice.
some people for like
Our freshman and junior year, yeah, we lost the national championship.
some people for worst OSU memory might throw might throw Oklahoma State versus Texas the Big 12 championship. We knew we were going to lose that game. We were
Correct.
beating Texas that year, so it's like, wow, that wasn't really that bad of a memory. The fact that we were even there was insane, and so
That-
it was like, yeah.
That game was like the definition of sacrificial lamb.
We knew, yeah. I was like, they were going to the CFP, like we weren't worried about it. So it was, yeah, exactly. All right. You know what? We're running a little higher on time here, so we're actually going to skip to the 2 links. I think we can go back to it. One of the things that we were going to talk about is college football's 10 most unbreakable records, which is something that we can talk about next week. I think that's fun. Gentlemen, I think that we're going to have some debate here on our bracket today. So we're just going to go straight to that. College football uniforms bracket is what we're doing today. Jude is a big uniforms guy. He loves, the designs and everything like that. So just as a reference, this includes all variations of all the uniforms that teams have, including helmets. So this is the entire getup. This is all the uniforms that they have. You just kind of take the average of what you like, and then we'll figure it out from there. But we have 16 seats. Here's our first matchup: the Oregon Ducks versus the Tulane Green Wave.
Honestly, a shame this is a first round matchup.
It
to
is.
be
A lot of these are
honest.
great. A lot of these matchups are
This
really
is
strong.
this is a shame.
Yeah. Tulane's
The
always
Tulane's
a dark
powder
horse.
blues.
Mhm.
The Tulane's powder blues are perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Oregon is a tough one because Oregon's highs are the highest of any like uniform out there, and the lows are pretty fucking bad. Sometimes they just look like highlighters.
I kind of like the highlighter, to be honest.
I mean, I think it's Oregon, but like it sucks that this is the first round.
Yeah,
I would agree. I think
Their eggshell, like the splatter
Mm.
uniforms, are very nice. But
Well,
yeah,
apparently
I-
Tulane has 128 uniform combos.
Whoa.
in college football 25.
that
Hell
is
yeah.
insane. All right. Next matchup: Miami versus USC.
Miami.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I actually
I
firmly
don't really
disagree.
like Miami's uniforms. USC's uniforms are classic. They just look
Yeah.
clean. When you see USC versus UCLA, where USC's in the cardinal and UCLA's in the baby blues, that's peak college football right there for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The gold and red is a very timeless color combo, and I think
And
they
they're
do it
also
really well.
one of the few teams in college football that doesn't have the names on the back of the jerseys. They still don't have names on there, which is kind of cool. Cool tradition there. So
True. All right, we'll go USC here. Next one, we've got the Michigan Wolverines versus the UT Longhorns.
I think both of these uniforms suck. Is that weird?
Wow.
Is that a bad take?
People would be angry at you. They think a lot of people think Michigan is definitely up there. So.
Michigan just has very like I don't even really understand how they got the design on the helmets, but now like there's always that one team in high school or whatever that has the same design on the helmets, and like I think it started with Michigan, so it's a little bit unique in that sense.
Jude,
Delaware uses those helmets.
Yeah, they do.
Firmly hook them.
Wow.
Firmly.
That has never been said on this podcast. I can promise you that.
True.
I love the burnt orange. The all whites. Oh my gosh, tell me something. Whisper it in my ear, dude. The all whites are perfect.
Right?
What do you guys, Ryan and Robbie? What do you guys think? If you had to choose,
I probably would have gone Michigan.
all right, Ryan, you're the tiebreaker. Michigan. He hates both of them.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking ahead in the bracket. It doesn't fucking matter what we pick
Yeah.
in this next round matchup. So
All right.
because I don't like Jude, we're going Michigan.
You also don't like UT, so that's also a part of
that's
this.
true.
We did lose to Michigan in our last game played, so I'm still like coping over that.
That's fair.
We've lost to Michigan in the last 2 postseasons, brother.
Shut up.
Next matchup: the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
I don't think there's much
Come on, now.
conversation to be had here.
Come on. Robbie's thinking about it. Look at it.
There's no way we're thinking about this, right?
Robbie's thinking about it.
I have opinions on Notre Dame's uniform.
Whoa!
Wow.
Look, all of us on light notes.
I have opinions. Well, let me run through those opinions.
Sure.
First of all, the fucking shiny ass gold helmets. It's weird. I don't like it. It looks stupid.
Oh my god!
Why are you out there running around like you're the fucking Capitol building with a gold dome on your head? That doesn't make any sense to me. Secondly, they like to pull out their like green uniforms every now and then. Like, luck of the Irish. No,
It's so good.
It looks dumb.
So
It looks
good.
dumb, and they always lose them every
looks
time.
dumb.
They pull them out and they're like, yeah, green, like we're gonna win, and they lose. So I also just don't like Notre Dame. But
Valid.
their uniforms are better than Georgia's. Yes, I just don't like their uniforms. So Georgia's are boring. So
All right, we'll go Notre Dame because I know the other two are going Notre Dame. All right. Sorry, Jude. LSU Tigers versus the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I got to go Pokes here. I think
There we go.
I think because of the total colorway that Oklahoma State can produce on a weekly basis, and again, that's some of these SEC teams are going to run into that problem of you have the very classic LSU, Alabama, Georgia like combos that don't change up very often. Now you have the Oregon and Oklahoma States who have like 100 different uniforms, but grew up a Pokes fan. I think like some of their charcoal with the orange and like when you got the mean Pete on the side of the helmet, it's just
dark Pete.
Man.
Dude, what's your favorite uniform combo?
So this year, well, these past few years when we've gotten these new uniforms in, I love the white helmet, black jersey, white pants. Those are clean. But my favorite ones of all time, we used to have an orange chrome helmet.
Yes, that is my favorite helmet of all
time. I don't know
time.
if Robbie and Ryman has seen these.
Probably.
They're so good.
The orange chrome helmet is my favorite helmet that Oklahoma State's ever had. It is so good. Yeah, I don't know why.
It's so clean.
It's so good.
With the big Pete on the side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are so nice. With the black jerseys, those are so
and the chrome
sick.
face mask.
I miss those so much. I don't know why we don't have those. All right, next matchup. Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Bama.
Roll
Classic.
Tide.
Yeah.
Classic.
I think Alabama does what Ohio State does, but better. I mean, they're both like main
that
color
too.
red, so.
Yeah, I like that too.
The numbers on the side of the helmet, that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing.
It's clean.
That college does.
The Penn State Nittany Lions versus the UNC Tar Heels.
It's Penn State. It's not even close for me. Like, it's not even a competition. UNC's uniforms are not very good.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next, we got the UCLA Bruins versus the Florida State Seminoles. This one's kind of hard, I do think, to be honest, in my opinion.
I like the way the Florida State like brings in the Seminole into the uniform. Like, that's pretty clean. They do a good job with it. The spear on the helmet is sick. I would go Florida State.
I would probably go Knowles.
All right. Go Florida State there. Second round matchup.
I think the spear on the helmet is one of the best helmets in college football, for sure.
Yeah.
Just by itself.
Our second round matchup, the Oregon Ducks versus the USC Trojans.
The first matchup of tradition versus kind of like modern uniforms.
Yeah. That's fair. I don't know. Jude's going with Oregon. Jude's throwing the O up.
I do really like Oregon's like matte green helmets that have the O on them. Those are clean.
Yeah, I think those are great.
Their throwbacks that they wore this year were nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I
those
gotta
throwbacks
go
were nice.
Oregon.
I would agree with that.
Oregon going through here. Next we have the Michigan Wolverines versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Let's go Irish.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
even gonna
gotta
vote
be.
there.
I was about to say it's got to be. Next we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. The rivalry on the podcast.
I feel like this was intentionally set up.
I actually did not do that on purpose. That's crazy that it ended up like that.
Go Pokes. Gotta have the boys.
That's what you'd say.
I'm gonna say Alabama because I think
Wow.
in terms of the like traditional uniforms, the numbers on the helmets are great.
God, putting
It's
Ryan's
clean, it's
Ryan's
simple.
allegiances literally just
Yeah,
putting
he's
him
put
right
to
in
the
the middle,
test.
man. That's
That was
crazy.
I had to make Ryan make the decision.
Yeah, that's wild. Oklahoma State Cowboys versus Alabama Crimson Tide. Which uniform is better?
Oh man,
Which uniform?
Bama's so timeless, and you have so many visions and thoughts of all the greats of all time. Rocking that crimson,
But
Not so fast.
Hold on.
there is something to be said about waking up on a game day and be curious about what colorway your team's trotting out that day and all the alternates and all
You
that.
don't wake
kind of
up on
stuff.
game day not knowing that. They put that on Twitter
The
like 2 days
casuals.
in advance. Give me a break.
no,
The
they don't.
casuals.
We post our uniforms like 15
This
minutes
is true.
before the
OSU
game
does not do it
starts.
very far in advance. Are we giving it to the Pokes?
I think we give it to the.
Give it to the
Let's
Pokes,
go!
baby.
Let's go!
It's crazy.
We don't like traditional uniforms during this podcast.
Yeah, I guess not.
I will say the Cowboys and the Tide are my two favorite uniforms on this list. So
All right,
that was a tough one for me.
Penn State Nittany Lions versus the Florida State Seminoles.
I go Knowles here. I like
I
Knowles
do too.
better than
All right.
Penn State.
Oh, Jude
I
does not like
disagree,
that
but-
take. What uniforms of Penn State do you like the most, Jude? Why would you be hesitant?
Well, let's see. They have two,
Uh-huh.
and it's white or blue.
Yeah, I was about to say there's not a lot of options.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
I've glazed the numbers on the helmets,
Got it. Yeah.
and I like the classic look. So
Our first semifinals matchup: the Oregon Ducks versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
It's Oregon. It's just simply
It's
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys versus the Florida State Seminoles.
If I didn't vote for Bama, I can't vote for Florida State. So I got to go Pokes.
I would vote for Florida State.
Jude.
it's down to me. It's the
I wonder
Cowboys.
where he's gonna go.
In our college football uniforms finals matchup, we have the Oregon Ducks versus the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I think we might have to get rid of the homer pick here, Jonathan.
Yeah, this was my master plan all along. Oklahoma State gets right to the end, and then they choke it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're the worst. It is true, though.
The poke choke prevails again.
Yep.
That is exactly what would happen,
the fuck?
unfortunately.
I gotta drop this one in Discord. The fuck are these uniforms from the Pokes? Hold on, these are terrible.
Uh-oh. He's been trying to find the worst
he was in his
ones.
bag.
That is
Connor, you gotta see
Yeah,
this.
hold on.
What the
Oh,
hell? What the hell are those?
Those are the throwback. Yeah, those
those
are the
are
throwback.
terrible.
Dude, the ones we wore, I don't know if it was this year or last year, the throwback A&M ones with
no.
the sleeves, the black and orange sleeves.
Oh yeah,
Those are
Those
awful.
are really bad.
It's like
no.
the Steelers Bumblebee.
Yeah.
You know.
Worse 'cause it's only on the sleeves.
I
Like, it's
remember us.
worse.
I remember us running out on the field, and I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Those are the worst uniforms I've ever
Wore
had."
those this year?
No, during like the time that I was there, that one point they wore
that
those.
was That was 2024. That was this year, Connor.
Yikes.
No wonder y'all lost 9 games. Holy shit.
Dude, that's an awful uniform. I'll totally give you that. It's really bad.
I
really-
just looked up
it's-
Oklahoma State football uniforms. That was like probably like the 10th option.
Yeah,
That is
it's-
terrible.
And it's really just the sleeves and the socks. Like
I don't like the logo on the helmet either. That doesn't look quite right to me.
Yeah,
I mean
no,
that's throwback A&M. Like that,
yeah, I get
that
it,
I can
but-
get on board with. The sleeves and socks is an actual war crime.
Yeah.
That's a
I
bad
agree.
decision.
It's
a bad
real
decision.
bad. I'll give you that 100%.
That's why none of the players actually wore the sleeves.
Yeah.
It was like our O-line, and that was it.
I got a picture of the quarterback wearing it.
Oh.
Oh, Bowman? Yikes.
All right.
Played 2 snaps in that game.
Both picks.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that was our college uniforms bracket. Jude, thank you very much for being on and being our first guest on the Bros and the Berg podcast. We appreciate you being
Happy to be here.
even though you predicted the Lions to have 13 wins and you said Jameson Williams was going to be the number 1 fantasy wide receiver. So
I don't think predicting the Lions have 13 wins is all crazy by Homer. Like
Yeah,
a Homer
I get it.
perspective.
Yeah, I did just say the Panthers are going to get 9 wins not that long
yeah,
ago,
you said they're going to
so-
make the playoffs, which is like that's.
I didn't say that. I just said they'd be 9-8.
Oh, I think.
Which in the NFC South is like tied for first
Playoffs.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, remember I said they'd play the Buccaneers for the division the last week.
Oh,
of-
that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
you did say
right.
that.
Kick to the nuts.
Yep. Right,
All right.
right to the nuts.
All right, Rob, you want to sign us out?
Yeah, for myself, Ryan, Connor, and Jude, special guest. Thank you for listening. Please go like, subscribe, all of those things. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We did not do any comments this week, but we will next week. So if you comment something dumb, we'll expose you. Thanks again for listening, and please gamble responsibly.